goes, there is also misery. It's no mystery. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy. When we're in too deep, and you and I, we got history.
This is a GTX 960, primarily used for gaming and video production, thanks to its CUDA cores and memory. This specific model of the GTX 960 offers a PCI Express bus of 3.0, video memory of 4GB GDDR5, 1024 CUDA cores, memory clock of 7200 MHz, memory interface of 128 bits. It also comes with these following input devices: DVI input, 3 display ports, and 1 HDMI port with HDSP compatibility. In addition, it requires a 6-pin power connector, and if you plan on doing SLI, you'll need 2 6-pin power connectors. Now, over with the technical specifications, let's move on to gaming. We chose for this test to run 3 different games: Battlefield 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and of course Rise of the Tomb Raider, as I thought they would be suitable for challenging the video card in graphics wise. We ran these tests at 1920 by 1080 as majority of the gamers will be running at that resolution, as I was. Now, what we could say is that they all ran fantastically fine, as you'll see in the following clips. They all had 60 frames per second plus at medium to high graphics settings, and having that 4GB of video RAM certainly does help a lot. And by having also this in gaming mode, we were able to get 1443 MHz, but we weren't into overclocking just yet. For our next segment, we move on to Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Unfortunately, I couldn't get all the information on the top left hand side of statistical, so instead I showed the advanced settings, which shows us the graphic settings, which is medium to high. Now, I'd like to definitely report that while playing this game and recording at the same time, we definitely managed to get 60 frames and over at 1920 by 1080p resolution, so it was fantastic. We didn't find any sort of weird lag or jittering or anything like that. It was actually really smooth gameplay. Now, I just want to let you know that when you're not recording with the software Bandicam, as I chose to record with, you'll notice that higher frame rates. This is due to the CUDA cores in the GPU and the CPU, well, CPU separately really, have to encode the actual stream. So bear in mind that if you're going to be making videos, you also have to account for that you'll be utilizing CPU for encoding and GPU with the CUDA cores to assist in hardware acceleration encoding. But besides that, we found no relatively huge issues with Black Ops 3. We did try to go 2K however, and what we did notice is that we have to lower the resolution detail a little bit just to get into 2K, which is 2560 by 1440. All in all, we found it a pretty good gaming experience with this video card. This isn't just any 960, this is the Strix edition of the GTX 960. So what does that mean? It allows you to overclock it even further using their app. This will allow you greater frame rate, smoother gameplay, and of course, a better gaming experience. We then decided to overclock the video card by selecting the OC profile on the ASUS app. Instead of running at 1443 MHz, we got it to 1469 MHz. We also noticed that with the GPU, we could not get over 70 degrees Celsius. Sometimes it would peak to about 71, 72. Now I could show you the whole length of the video that we recorded, although I don't think YouTube would allow me to upload such amounts. Furthermore, as we previously mentioned, for those people who have the 2GB model, you would struggle a little bit. As you can see, the game is already chewing up more than 2GB of video memory. Now, for those who are wondering about bottlenecking with the CPU, I'm currently running an i7-3770, non-K version, just the normal one with hyper-threading. And you're probably thinking it's on about 70 to 80% or more. That's because while I'm making this video, you have to keep in mind I'm encoding H.264, meaning CPU is encoding, and also the frame rate's going to drop because the graphics card with the CUDA enabled is also hardware accelerating, assisting in the encoding process. So you're essentially doing two things at once. So that's another thing to take into consideration. However, at 1920 by 1080 at 60 frames per second and while recording, we didn't have any major issues, honestly. It ran fantastic. Now, as I can say a bit more further information, if you're planning not to record, you'll get easily 60 frames per second plus. As for 2K resolution gaming, you might find struggling a little bit, unfortunately. My top tip for that would be reducing the amount of detail there is in the scenery and environment, and you should be able to get a decent 2K gaming experience with maybe a little bit less than 60 frames per second or 60 frames per second and over. For our final game, we decided to test Rise of the Tomb Raider. As you've seen probably on my YouTube channel, I have made a few gaming videos on this actual game. Now, unfortunately I couldn't get all the information on the top left hand corner, so I apologize for that. However, what I can tell you is that with an average frame rate around about 52 frames per second and the highest reaching around about 80 to 90, it performs decent. Now, please keep in mind that I'm not exactly running the highest graphics settings possible because the graphics card can't exactly handle that much. However, what I can tell you is that from the settings that you've seen in the start of the video, I am running around about medium to low end medium graphics, and you can still get a very good quality gameplay with the video card. Now, in the next clip, I'm going to show you a little something called GameStream. But what I'll do is I'll leave you with this for now, and I hope you enjoy it. One more thing I'd like to touch on is GameStream. It's an app essentially allows you to play computer games from your computer on your TV using a TV media box and game controller. Now, we tested this on an Nvidia Shield and it ran fantastically great. We got 60 frames per second at 1080p. We're very happy with it. It actually did surprise us quite a bit. Now, should you go ahead and buy this graphics card? It's a yes and a no. The pros are it can handle 4K video footage, so if you've got a movie that's 4K, go for it. It'll do a great job. You want to do 4K gaming? Not there yet. 2K gaming? It'll struggle a little bit. You'll have to lower the detail and scenery around you, unfortunately. 1080p gaming? It'll handle it. And it'll do a decent job. Decent to good job. It will do. As you can see, I'm playing 1080p Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and it's doing a great job so far. Now, as for budget, depends on the budget you are on. If you have a budget of say over 250 to say 400 plus, you can either opt for a 1050 Ti or a GTX 1060, and that'll do a fantastic job for newer upcoming games. However, if you have a small budget and you already have a GTX 960 Strix Edition 4GB like I have, and you want to run dual SLI, go for it. You'll get more performance increase on selected games that support SLI. Some do, some don't, unfortunately. But the ones that do, you'll get some good performance boost, which is a great addition to it. However, if you don't have a GTX 960, but you want a cheap graphics card to upgrade for the time being, it'll do a good job. For 1080p gaming, you got yourself a pretty solid card. However, I would still be careful, as this is an old architecture and not a 16mm one as the Pascals are. Keep that in mind. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share it all with your friends. Thank you.